Tim, a game developer, is in the middle of a tense remote meeting at home when the connection suddenly drops. In the rare moments he's not consumed by work, memories of his wife, Olivia, fill his mind, especially the difficult time when she was pregnant and had to be hospitalized due to complications. Suddenly, Olivia enters the room, startling him. They head downstairs and run into Mr. Freeman, the building manager, who informs them that the renovation is nearly complete and the building's cover will be removed soon. Just then, a helicopter roars overhead. Mr. Freeman mentions a massive fire that has broken out in the Harbour District. After parting ways, Olivia casually asks Tim if he wants to grab pizza. They get takeout and she leads him to their old car, freshly back from the repair shop. As they sit inside eating, Olivia surprises Tim by suggesting they finally take that long-dreamed-of road trip to Paris. She reveals that she's just quit her job, saying they both need a fresh start after everything they've been through. Tim admits he wants to go too, but says he can't leave his job, not yet. Before the conversation can continue, a work call pulls him away again. Later that night, they lie awake in bed. Olivia silently cries beside him. The next morning, Tim wakes to find Olivia packed and ready to leave. She tells him he'll never change, and she's done waiting. But as she tries to open the door, she finds it blocked, sealed shut by a strange, futuristic brick-like structure. She accuses Tim of doing something, but he's just as confused. Olivia rushes to the window, only to discover the same mysterious bricks covering it too. They check every window, each one sealed off by solid brick. Olivia tries to break one open and calls Tim over. He gives it a shot, even yells for help, but it's useless. Olivia pulls out her phone to call for help, no signal. Tim rushes to check the Wi-Fi router. Dead. They both try moving around the room for any kind of signal, but nothing. That's when Tim notices something odd. His phone starts glitching near the wall. Suspicious, Olivia grabs a power drill and starts boring into the wall. Tim joins her, but the drill barely makes a dent. They move to a different section, same result. Every path ends in brick. It makes no sense. How could someone block off an entire building? Suddenly, they hear a muffled scream from the next room. Tim quickly drills a hole through the wall. On the other side, they spot a terrified couple. The man, visibly shaken, says they only rented the room for a night and woke up to find themselves sealed in. He asks if Olivia and Tim are dealing with the same thing. They nod. He starts to panic, but the woman urges him to calm down and take a breath. Olivia gently asks if they saw anything strange the night before. The woman says no, they just woke up and found the place like this. As she starts to panic, Olivia puts an arm around her to comfort her. Meanwhile, Tim turns on the tap. No water, nothing. They gather what supplies they can find. Tim, trying to stay calm, says it's like being in a video game. They just need to figure out a way out. But Olivia snaps, saying life isn't a game, and mocks his stupid work. The tension boils over into a full-blown argument, fueled not just by fear, but by unresolved history between them. After Olivia leaves the room, Tim angrily throws his phone at a brick wall. As he sits down, he notices something odd, something embedded in the brick. Curious, he walks over and discovers it's a chip from the shattered phone. The brick seems to be acting like a magnet. Just then, Olivia returns, apologizing for their earlier argument. Tim picks up a spoon to demonstrate the brick's strange magnetic pull. Intrigued, they begin testing it with various metal objects and place them on the wall. Olivia observes that the magnetic force is strongest within the square-shaped bricks. She arranges the metal pieces accordingly, but suddenly, the metals start to vibrate, then violently fly back toward them. Tim pulls Olivia down to protect her. In the chaos, the flying metal injures Tim. Olivia quickly tends to his wounds, removing the embedded metal and bandaging him up. While they sit recovering, they hear a woman scream from the next room. Rushing to the wall, they call out, but receive no response. Determined to help, they decide to widen the hole in the wall and enter the adjacent room. Tim arms himself with a bat. Olivia takes pepper spray. Inside, they find a woman lying on the floor beside the bed. Olivia rushes to help her while Tim searches for the man. Suddenly, the man attacks, pinning Tim to the ground. Olivia intervenes, spraying the man with pepper spray. As Tim prepares to strike back, the woman stops him, defending the man. She explains he didn't hurt her, she had injured herself while trying to break the brick. They were both likely under the influence of something from the night before. Tim binds the man's hands, assuring them it's just a precaution until the effects wear off. The woman introduces herself as Anna, and the man as Marvin. Later, while inspecting the apartment, Tim discovers a storage room. He breaks it open and finds a large hammer. Hoping to break through the brick door, he begins smashing it, but Marvin, now more lucid, warns him the hammer won't break it. In fact, it could get damaged trying. Tim questions Marvin about the earlier attack, but Marvin seems genuinely confused. When Anna recounts everything that happened, he's shocked and admits he must have taken too much dope. At that moment, Olivia, an architect by profession, comes up with a possible escape plan. She explains that since the building was constructed during the war, there's likely a bomb shelter in the basement. Some of these shelters were connected to the old subway system, which could offer them a way out. They begin breaking through the floor. Meanwhile, Marvin grows suspicious, convinced someone is manipulating them. He suspects the building manager might be behind everything. Once the floor is opened, Tim climbs down and finds their neighbor, Mr. Oswald. But Oswald appears with a gun, warning Tim to go back upstairs. He refuses to share his supplies with anyone. Olivia and the others try to reason with him and explain their plan, but Oswald remains unmoved. Then his granddaughter, Leah, enters and pleads with him to help. She believes that if they work together, they might all escape. After some hesitation, her persistence wins him over, and he agrees to join them. Everyone climbs down through the opening. Tim unbinds Marvin and asks him to help break through more of the floor, hoping the physical effort will help flush the drugs from his system. Meanwhile, Olivia chats with Leah, who's trying to text her girlfriend after a fight. Leah mentions that she woke at 4 a.m. to use the washroom, and when she returned, the entire apartment had been sealed off with bricks. Suddenly, Tim notices a detector. He opens it up and finds a hidden camera inside. Suspicious, he asks Mr. Oswald if he installed it, but Oswald says no, all the detectors were installed by Mr. Friedman, their next-door neighbor. Tim checks another room and finds a second detector, also with a hidden camera. Marvin, growing more paranoid, says they're being manipulated, like in Squid Game. He suspects someone is watching their every move, and Mr. Friedman might be the one orchestrating everything. Olivia agrees. If Friedman is really behind this, they need to confront him. He lives right next door. They break through the wall and enter his room, only to find him dead, bleeding near the door, both hands missing. Marvin, horrified, rushes to the washroom to throw up, with Anna following to check on him. Olivia starts to panic, and though Tim tries to calm her down, she storms out of the room. Tim then checks Mr. Friedman's phone and discovers several photos of the wall. Disturbed but determined, they resume breaking through the floor, unsettled by what they've uncovered. Olivia returns, showing Tim a news article about a fire, wondering if it's somehow connected to all this. Just then, with a loud crash, the floor gives way. Tim, Marvin, and Anna plunge into the space below. Olivia quickly climbs down to help Tim, while Marvin and Anna regain their footing. Meanwhile, Leah prepares to join them, but Mr. Oswald hands her a gun and insists on going alone. She refuses to let him, and together they descend. As they arrive, a stranger suddenly appears, applauding their dramatic entrance. He introduces himself as Yuri, a friend of Anton's, visiting for a few days. Curious and suspicious, he asks why they're breaking through the floor and what exactly their plan is. After they explain, Yuri laughs and claims the bricks were actually meant to protect them, describing it as a high-tech defense system designed to repel any kind of attack. Tim demands proof, but Yuri drifts into conspiracy theories, mentioning the deep state and the New World Order. Olivia cuts to the point, asking where Anton is. Yuri then shows them Anton's lifeless body, claiming he collapsed suddenly, likely from heart failure, while studying the bricks. Shocked, the group offers their condolences. But tension quickly rises again as they begin arguing, debating whether everything outside is contaminated and if it's even safe to leave. Marvin, Anna, and Olivia decide to take their chances outside, believing it's better than staying locked in. They leave the room together. Leah stays behind to double-check Anton's work. Yuri, overwhelmed with anxiety about what might be behind the wall, grabs the paper in frustration. Soon after, Leah joins the others. They break open the floor and descend into the basement. After searching, they find the hidden tunnel. Forcing open a door, they're shocked to find it blocked by the same type of brick as before. Frustrated, Marvin snaps. He grabs a hammer and starts smashing at the wall. Tim tries to stop him, but Mr. Oswald intervenes, pointing a gun at Marvin. Marvin pauses, claiming he's calm now, but suddenly lunges, snatches the gun, and fires at the wall. The bullets hit the brick but don't penetrate. Instead, they stop mid-air and begin to vibrate. Tim shouts for everyone to duck. They hit the floor just as the bullets ricochet past them. Mr. Oswald, unable to move in time, is struck. Leah rushes to him and calls for help. Marvin steps forward, but she screams at him to stay back. Mr. Oswald dies there in the basement. Later, the group gathers in Anton's room, silent and shaken. Anna breaks the silence, asking if there's something that connects them all, some shared trauma. She reveals she nearly died as a child. Leah says she watched her mother die of cancer. Yuri confesses he once killed someone while working as a police officer. Leah adds, and we all know what Marvin did. Marvin tries to apologize again, but Leah yells at him. They turn to Olivia and Tim. Olivia hesitates, but just as Tim tries to stop her, she speaks. They lost a child through miscarriage. The room goes still. Tim walks into another room, and Olivia follows. They start to argue. Olivia accuses him of shutting himself off after the miscarriage, burying himself in work, and never speaking about their loss. She says she was left to carry the grief alone. Tim takes a moment to collect himself, then urges the group to take action. They can't just sit and wait. He suggests they search Mr. Freeman's room for any clues. Leah agrees and adds that they should also look into Anton's work, as he might have uncovered something important. The group decides to split up. Tim, Marvin, and Anna head to Mr. Freeman's room while Leah and Olivia investigate Anton's work. Yuri, however, shows little interest in either task. As Tim explores Freeman's room, he notices that it's significantly smaller than the one above. Suspicious, he examines the walls and realizes there might be a hidden space. Marvin discovers a remote switch, and when Tim inspects it, he instructs them to bring in flour. They use flour to trigger the switch, revealing 4 fingerprints on numbered buttons. This suggests the passcode is one of the 24 possible combinations of those 4 digits. Anna decides to inform the others. Meanwhile, Leah and Olivia find Anton's business card. He worked for a company called Epsilon Nano Defense. They question Yuri, but he says Anton never liked discussing his job. All he knows is that Anton was a programmer. As they continue searching, they discover Anton's phone and laptop, both smashed. Yuri explains that Anton often destroyed things when frustrated. Among the debris, they find a paper with what appears to be code, possibly for unlocking the brick. However, Yuri warns them with a laugh that opening it could release deadly radiation. Just then, Anna arrives, announcing they found something. Olivia and Yuri follow her, while Leah stays behind to continue searching. Back at Freeman's room, Tim manages to crack the correct combination and opens the secret door. Inside, they find a room filled with computers showing surveillance footage of their rooms. The rest of the group arrives and sees the disturbing footage. Shocked, Anna demands that Tim delete anything that captured their private moments. They examine the footage from Tim and Olivia's room and pinpoint the exact moment when the bricks began surrounding the building. Slowing the video down, they watch as the bricks spread over the structure like some kind of advanced nanotechnology. Meanwhile, in Anton's room, Leah checks his lifeless body and removes the scarf from his neck, revealing clear strangulation marks. They confirm Anton is dead, his body sprawled across the floor. Just as they're about to question Yuri about Anton's death, they realize he's missing. Marvin sets off to find him. Reviewing more footage, they see Anton holding a phone, approaching the bricks as flashes of light appear. He had somehow managed to open a section of the wall. At the same time, Marvin finds Yuri in his room, burning Anton's research. Back in the footage, the group watches in horror as it shows Yuri strangling Anton. Marvin discovers Leah lying dead by the bed. He yells at Yuri, who calmly insists he was only trying to protect them. Tim arrives with a gun, catching Yuri in the act of choking Marvin. Yuri lunges at Tim, trying to strangle him too. Marvin recovers and strikes Yuri, and together they manage to corner him. The others arrive, urging Tim not to shoot. Yuri might know how to escape. Tim knocks him unconscious, and they tie him to a chair. Olivia is overcome with guilt over Leah's death, but Tim reassures her it's not her fault. Anna speculates that Yuri killed Anton because he had found a way out. Searching the burned papers, they discover strange codes that resemble Morse code. Leah examines the footage again for clues. Olivia then shows them Anton's business card, and Tim notes that his company is located at the site of the massive fire outbreak. They wake Yuri and demand to know how Anton managed to open the brick wall. Yuri insists everything outside is contaminated and they're safer staying inside. Tim, unconvinced, fires at the wall and questions whether Epsilon Company built it and why. Yuri explains he only knows it was designed as a defense mechanism against external threats. Olivia asks if everything outside is truly contaminated, then why did Anton want to leave? Yuri reveals that Anton believed the contamination was the result of a system malfunction caused by the fire. Marvin Sakams agrees, saying they support Anton's theory. Anna arrives, saying she discovered something. Anton had been working on his laptop. Tim inspects it and realizes Anton had programmed an app designed to open the wall. They watch him as Yuri suddenly smashes both his laptop and phone. Despite the damage, they retrieve the broken phone and connect it to a computer. Through analysis, they figure out that the phone functions as a kind of key, and the squares on the wall are locks. Anton had used the phone's flash, which emits an electromagnetic wave, to trigger the mechanism that opens the brick wall. Tim reverse engineers the app and opens it near the wall. The app activates, highlighting the squares like buttons. They tap them randomly until the phone emits a flash. The wall begins to transform, shifting like a portal. Anna steps forward and touches it, saying it feels warm and insists they must go through. Marvin, who's been watching Yuri, rushes over and urges her to pull her hand back. But she says she can't, it's pulling her in. The others try to pull her out, but she slips further into the wall. Suddenly, the portal starts to close. As it seals shut, the group is thrown back, leaving only the upper half of Anna's body on their side. Marvin is horrified. Yuri starts laughing maniacally. In a fit of rage, Marvin shoots him, then turns the gun on himself. Olivia and Tim sit on the floor, devastated. Olivia, feeling hopeless, confesses that losing their child nearly broke her. She needed Tim then, but he had shut her out. Tim admits his regret and tells her he's grateful she never gave up on him. Olivia quietly replies, "Because I love you." In that moment, they reconcile and regain their resolve to survive. They reopen the app and notice something unusual. When they press the buttons, each one flashes a different number of times: 6, 4, 1, 2. Reviewing Anton's old footage, they analyze and decode the sequence he used. Determined, they head back to the wall to test the sequence. Just as they're about to begin, Yuri, barely alive, suddenly attacks Tim. In the chaos, Olivia falls through her to the basement. Tim follows, managing to push Yuri down after her. He jumps in after them, and together he and Olivia run toward the tunnel door. Yuri pursues them. As they try to shut the door behind them, Yuri forces it open. Tim hands Olivia the phone and urges her to unlock the next passage. She manages to open it just as Yuri bursts through. A struggle breaks out, Yuri pins Tim and nearly stabs him. Tim shouts for Olivia to go, but she refuses. Just in time, she grabs a hammer and knocks Yuri out, saving Tim. They escape through the tunnel and emerge outside, only to find their entire neighborhood encased in strange brick formations. Spotting their car, they get in, determined to drive to Paris and start over. As they drive off, a news broadcast plays on the radio. A state of emergency has been declared. The fire at Epsilon Nanotech Industries has triggered a secret nano-defense system, one developed entirely in secrecy. Please like and subscribe for more video like this. Thanks for watching.